Hello everyone and welcome back to, or welcome to Tinderloss Gaming, and welcome to my first episode of playing Arkham Horror 3rd edition, part of the Old Codgers trilogy. So for those of you that are following the channel and subscribing, thank you very much. This is part of, like I say, the Old Codgers trilogy. This is part 2 if you like. We've taken the Old Codgers through Mansions of Madness 3rd edition. Second edition, and I would urge you to go back and watch the Old Codgers play through that. But now we are on to Arkham Horror 3rd edition. So without further ado, I hope you like the little mid-journey thing I've knocked up for Tyrants of Ruin. A little bit of fun, quite enjoying doing that. But anyway, like I say, without further ado, let's get across to the table and see what's going on. Right, so here we are at the table. Now, Arkham Horror 3rd edition. Some people like it, some people don't like it, some people are indifferent. I like it. It is completely different to Arkham Horror 2nd edition in regards to how it's laid out. You haven't got the big sort of town board you had in Arkham Horror 2nd edition. It's more modular. You can see from these little modules, they're different areas and then split down further into different other different areas, different sections. I like it. I like it's different. It's completely different, and that's what I like about it. So what are we playing? Well, we are playing the scenario called Tyrants of Ruin. And I'll come to that in a sec. We'll go through the scenario board. But what's this whole Old Codgers thing about? Well, I'm taking Charlie Kane, Norman Withers and Carson Sinclair through various iterations of Fantasy Fight Arkham universe type games. As I said, we played Mansions of Madness with the 3 of them. We're now playing this with the 3 of them. And we will be playing, or I'll be playing the Dunnage Legacy with Charlie and Carson. I've got decks for those, and I've done a little bonus episode playing through the new scenario for the LCG called Film Fatale. And again, I'd urge you to go back and have a look at that. That was great fun. No spoilers on either of those. Suffice to say, Charlie, Norman and Carson have got a little bit of stuff to prove in Arkham Horror 3rd edition. This is a bit of a table hog. I've got quite a bit of stuff off the table that you can't see. I've got various decks. I've got all the items and allies and stuff like that. Just can't fit them all on the one screen. And to be honest with you, they're not really needed to be on screen. This is where all the action's going to be happening, and as well as the player cards. So I've set up Tyrants of Ruin as far as I can, because there's some stuff I do want to do on stream or on the recording. But Tyrants of Ruin, it says the story so far. Deep beneath Devil's Reef, the tyrants of Yathnali rule the dark waves, yearning to surpass their ancient mortal frames. They stir below the water, sending their deep one prodigy to corrupt the surface world. And it's got a reckoning on it, which is spread terror in each neighbourhood with a deep one monster. This is all about deep ones. That's the theme for it. It says starting space general store. Little bit of a faux pas on Fantasy Flight's there, because there is no general store here. Actually, I've been online, there's an FAQ. You actually start at Gilman's house, which is where the 3 of them are. We've set it up as per the map. We've got a monster deck all set up. We've got the Mythos Cup all set up. We've added 61, 62 and 63 from the codex to our to the board. And we're using the Feeding Frenzy Terror deck as well. So that's pretty much it for this element. We've got a Prowling Abductor, which is hanging around in East Town. And we've got an Entranced Hybrid hanging around at the Devil's Reef. Now, for those that you that haven't played this, There are various travel mechanisms that some of the expansions brought in. And I'll go through those now. So for here, here, you can travel to, so like here, for example, you could travel to there, or from here you could travel to there, or from here you could travel to there. These are sort of roadways, if you like, so we can travel roadways. Here, we've got boats, so we can travel across a boat as well. So we've got two ways of getting to Innsmouth Village and Innsmouth Shore. This is a separate board. They're not connected the same way as these four are down here. So we can run around in here, we can travel across, we can run around in there. And all of that will come, I'll go through obviously all of that as we play through the scenario. Obviously they're connected by bridges and scenic routes. If you end up here in the street, these are the streets, these areas, you get different experiences as you're going through the game. So I've done most of the setup. I've put the doom where it should be. I haven't then done the final bit of spreading doom and putting the clues down. I'll go through that in a sec. That's the last thing we'll do as setup. For those, again, who haven't played Arkham Horror 3rd edition, you get this thing called a codex, which is all of these. And you get expansion cards as you buy the expansions, and it comes obviously with a standard deck as well. But it's telling us to put cards 61, 62 and 63 in the setup. For those that play Arkham Horror LCD, think of this sort of like as the act and agenda. There's usually a good thing and a bad thing that's going on, and an overarching thing. So 61 is the first card, and it says terror. While the people you hope to protect cannot fathom the true depth of the danger that surrounds them, they feel it, just as the heart senses the stalking wolf. The maddening evil that infects this place has grown too strong to ignore, and what passes for normal life has become impossible. It's got an effect. When a neighbourhood has 6 or more doom, remove all doom from one space in that neighbourhood and place 1 doom on the scenario sheet. Then spread terror in that neighbourhood. Terror is one of the newer mechanics from one of the expansions. Effectively, you're putting doom and terror onto here, and then you're going to be drawing, before you take a card from the other area, you're going to take one of these. Again, I don't think I'm explaining that particularly well, but it'll come through as we play the scenario. It says, well, it actually says it. Before you resolve an encounter in your neighbourhood with 1 or more attached terror cards, encounter one of those cards. Action. You gather support and organise resistance to the threat. Test influence. For each success you roll, you may discard 1 terror token or terror card from your neighbourhood. Terror tokens go here. They don't go on the area. So if there's 2 terror on here, it affects the whole area. So that's terror. That's sort of like a generic card. So these next ones are going to be ones that are more specific to the scenario we're playing. So 62 says caught in the act. You arrive at the Gilman house in Innsmouth to find no trace of the colleague that summoned you. His things are scattered across the room, and you apprehend a wide-mouthed local man attempting to slip out through the cracked and dingy window. You overpower him easily and locate a shining golden statue in his grimy rucksack. When you seize it, he begins to rave, "Thieves, upstarts, you will not deny my king and queen their joyful ascendancy. They will feast on your marrow." The screaming continues until you force a gag between his wide slime-specked lips. When there's 4 or more doom on the scenario sheet, flip this card. So we're going to, once we put doom on there, that's going to be bad. And then we've got cursed gold. The golden figurine set with precious stones and human-like bones is warm in your hands and fills your mind with visions of the sea. The bulging eyes and rubbery skin of the cultists you've detained warn that you should limit your exposure in this twisted reliquary. Your friend warned you that something terrible was coming to Innsmouth and mentioned that he found a secret key, essential to locating 3 extremely dangerous relics. Is this the key he mentioned? You need to continue his investigation, and quickly. When there are 2 or more clues on the scenario sheet, flip this card. So we're trying to find clues, we're trying to find relics, we're trying to stop cultists. Fairly standard fare for an Arkham Horror game. Right, we are playing as Charlie Kane. He is a politician. Let's get him out and have a look. He is a politician. He's got task force action. Spend $2 and an additional $1 for each ally you have to gain 1 ally. Leadership. Each time one of your allies is discarded, suffer 1 direct horror. And his focus limit is equal to the number of allies that he's got. And he's got 4 health and 8 sanity, 2 law, 4 influence, 3 observation, 2 strength and 2 will. He also comes with a couple of cards, one I've chosen, one that he comes with anyway. I've got Bonnie Walsh, who's an ally. Seriously. Sorry, slight technical error there. The card cam wasn't coming up. We've got Bonnie Walsh, who is a faithful assistant. Once per round, before you resolve a test, you may focus 1 skill of your choice, 2 health, 3 sanity. And his second thing that he comes with is Voice of Authority, which is once per round when resolving a test using a skill you have focused, you may test influence in place of that indicated skill. So very nice, very nice. A little bit of synergy there. So that's Charlie. Then we've got Norman, who is a astronomer. In the stars, after you remove 2 or more doom from your space, you may suffer 1 horror to research 1 clue. 5 sanity, 7 health, 3 law, 1 influence, 3 observation, 2 strength and 4 will. Comes with $1. He has got a thing called a precious memento. Okay, the camera's not working again. I'll tell you, I'm going to do some behind the scenes stuff just very quickly. Today, prior to filming, has been an absolute nightmare. My Stream Deck stopped working, OBS updated, and for some reason or other now, my camera's not working. But a little bit of behind the scenes, a little bit of Wizard of Oz, seeing the wizard behind the scenes. But it's been an absolute flipping nightmare. So bear with me again while I fix the camera. Right, a little bit more jiggery pokery, and here we go. So Norman's got a precious memento. After you gain a clue, remove 2 horror from this card. So that's very nice. And he's also got Find Gate, which is action test law. If you pass, you move to a space of your choice which has 1 or more doom on it. So that's very nice for him to get about the board. Then we've got Carson Sinclair, who is the butler. He's got a thing called Quietly Indispensable. Once per round, while an investigator in any space is performing a test, you may spend 1 focus token to allow them to re-roll 1 dice. If you do, you recover 1 sanity. Is 6 health, 6 sanity, 2 law, 3 influence, 3 observation, 2 strength, 3 will. What these numbers mean is how many dice you're rolling. You need 5s and 6s in this game for it to be a success. And then he has also got, he's got his $2 there. He's got prepared for anything. And the card has stopped working again. Right, we're going to carry on today. We're not going to use that. So otherwise I'm just going to be here all day. We'll sort it out for the next installment. Prepared for anything. Once per round, when an investigator in any space suffers any amount of damage or horror, you may discard one focus token to prevent that damage. And then he's also got anticipation. After you perform a focus action, you may focus one additional skill for each clue in your neighbourhood. So I need to remember all of those. So that's it. We've got a final couple of bits to set up. We're at final preparations in the rule book. Spawn starting clues. So draw the top 3 cards of the event deck. Let's give those a quick shuffle. Basically, how you set the game up. There's two versions of cards for each deck. So you've got normal interaction cards, and then you've got cards that are clue specific. So you're going to get clues from these types of cards. Now they don't go into the normal decks. You shuffle those in as we play. So let's give these a quick shuffle. I'm trying not to look at what I'm doing. And then we're going to spawn our starting clues. There we go. That's done. So we are going to spawn a clue in Innsmouth Village. So what happens is a clue goes on the middle there. And then you take the top 2 cards of the other deck. And you shuffle this one in. Try and do it as best I can. Some people do find this a little bit fiddly. It doesn't really bother me. You know, it is what it is. So that's Innsmouth Village. Done. Then the next, oh my God. We've got Innsmouth Village again. So we're going to put another clue in Innsmouth Village. This could be quite handy. And then we're going to, again, take the top 2 cards. So one of these could be a clue and one of them couldn't be. But we don't know. And then we'll put those back. And then finally, the last card is Miskatonic University, which is down here. Top 2 cards of Miskatonic University. Try to talk as I'm doing this so I forget which one's which I have already. So hopefully that's okay. And that goes back on Miskatonic University. Place starting doom. We've done that. We've placed the starting doom. Spread doom once. You take the bottom card of the deck. And that's south side. And which one's got the little south church is going to be where doom is spread. South church is here. What have we got? Oh, that was just to remind me. There we go. And I think that's it. I think that is it. Final was set up. We're all good. We're all good. And that goes to the bottom, and that actually becomes the unstable space. So if any cards refer to the unstable space, currently it's South Church. That will change as other cards go through. Okay, right, I think we're on to the action phase. Each character gets 2 actions per turn, and you can't do any action more than once. 2 clues over Innsmouth Village, which seems to be the place to go. I mean, I would like to kill this thing at some point, but I don't know. I'm playing this blind again. I don't know. I've not turned these over. So until you actually engage with them, you then turn them over and find out what they've got. So The entranced hybrid is a lurker. Place 1 doom at the unstable space. So he's just going to stay, he or she or it is just going to stay there, chucking doom out wherever the unstable space is. So we do need to think about him. And then you've got the prowling abductor, spawn, but it doesn't really matter. Relentless hunter, move towards and engage the lowest influence, which would be Norman. But I feel like we do need to do some bits and bobs. Going to activate Norman first, who's going to move. Yeah, he's going to move 1, 2 to the historic order of Dagon. And then he's going to attempt what's called a ward test. So he is going to test law, which is 3, to try and remove that doom. We need 5s and 6s to be successful. And we're not successful. We get 2 4s and a 3. Great. Just trying to think if there's anything else we can do there. There's nothing else we can do there. Okay. I mean, it would be nice to get sort of some. Also in here, it tells you roughly what you're going to get in regards to encounters. So here, for example, we potentially might get spells, etc. Here we might get weapons or remnants. Here we can heal. Don't really need to heal at the moment, but I would like to be in Innsmouth Village to get those 2 clues. With 6 health, Carson feels a bit more like he could be my tanky guy. Charlie's only got 4, Norman's got 5. So I'm going to activate Carson, who's going to go 1, 2, and then he's going to spend $1 to move an additional space to Innsmouth Jail. And that is it for... No, he's got 1 more action left. He's got 1 more action left. Let's focus. And it says influence or will. So let's focus our will. So we're going to get +1. Going to get +1 for our will. And Carson's special ability, or what is anticipation. After you perform a focus action, you may focus 1 additional skill for each clue in your neighbourhood. And I could focus up to 3. 2 clues in the neighbourhood. So I'm going to focus law as well. And influence there is another one. So I'm going to do influence as well. So hopefully getting us up. Or do we want strength? Actually, no, I'm going to go strength just to make us 3. So we're now our focus limit. Right, Suffolk boy there. And that is, oh, that's quite nice. I like that. I like anticipation. But that is it for Carson. Then we're going to activate Charlie. He's going to move 1, 2 to the historic order of Dagon. I'm going to resolve a test, which is a ward test, which is law of 2. Bonnie says once per round, before you resolve a test, you may focus 1 skill of your choice. I am going to focus law to take me up to 3. And it says, once per round, voice of authority, once per round, when resolving a test using a skill you have focused, you may test influence instead. Well, it is a law test, which I've focused toward. So I am going to use my influence instead, which is 4 dice. Let's see what Charlie gets. Charlie gets to remove loads of Doom, but only one because there's only one on there. There we go. That is the action phase. That's all of them done. We go to the monster phase. The monster phase says each ready monster activates usually by moving. So we'll activate the entranced hybrid first. Place 1 Doom on the unstable space. So that's South Church. So we're going to put a Doom on there. The prowling abductor is going to move 1 to there, which comes across to here, 2 to there, because it doesn't cost you a movement to come across there. So he's going to be there. He's heading towards Charlie, Norman. That's the monster phase done. The encounter phase. You draw and resolve an encounter matching your space. So let's start off with, we'll go from left to right. So we'll start off with Carson. He's in Innsmouth Village, so he's going to get this card here. It is a clue card, so we potentially could get a clue. And he's in Innsmouth Jail, which says, you know that a past prisoner left a message in their cell. The only way you could get to look at it is to become incarcerated yourself for the night. You may become delayed to find a carving of a secret prayer to Dagon and Hydra among the things that hid behind a loose brick in the cell. Gain 1 clue from your neighbourhood and 1 common item. So we have to become delayed, which means we're going to use an action to get up next time. But we're going to do that because we want the clue. So we're going to get the clue. That goes on to Carson. And 1 common item. Should have drawn 5 cards out of this for the shop, as it were. Should have done that at the start, but my apologies. And we'll draw 5 cards in the shop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we can gain 1 common item. So we've got ground pepper. During your turn, you may discard this item to exhaust a monster in your space. That's quite nice. We've got a baseball bat. You get +3 strength as part of an attack action. After this test, if you rolled at least 1, this item suffers 1 damage. You've got a shotgun. You get +5 strength as part of an attack action. Each 6 you roll as part of an attack action counts as 2 successes. Yoink. An encyclopedia. Choose an investigator in your space. That investigator rolls 2 additional dice during their next test. And then finally, we're going to get a camera. After you gain a clue, you may test observation -1. If you pass, research that clue. Very nice. But Carson is going to take the shotgun. 100% it's going to take the shotgun. +5 as part of an attack action. And that's $6 that would have normally have cost us. And it is a common weapon. Worth becoming delayed for, I think. The Innsmouth Jail now becomes the unstable space. Then we're going to go with Charlie. He's going to get his... and then we draw another card to fill up the common items. Mystic Tome, Curio Tome. You get +3 when casting a spell. Nice. we're drawing a card for Charlie. It is a clue, and he's at the historic order of Dagon. No one is in the temple, but sickening voices fills the dark, wet room, calling you to give yourself over to the great mother and father. You may gain a dark pact to open your mind to monstrous secrets. If you do, gain one clue from your neighbourhood and one spell. Oh, dark pact. So what happens in this game? A lot like other games in this sort of genre, we get a whole load of dark pacts, all of them different. They're all the same on the front. It's when you get a reckoning, you should have a problem. I am going to take a dark pact. That could come back to bite me. But we've got to get the clue. Got to get the clue, and that's Charlie, who's got a dark pact. That sounds quite nice for Charlie, actually. He gains a clue. And one spell. Let's have a little look. We'll do a cat weasel cut. We haven't done a cat weasel cut. Blimey, nearly contractually obligated for a cat weasel cut. And he's going to get Instill Bravery. Once per round, if you, another investigator, or an ally of any on any space would suffer horror, you may test law, prevent horror equal to this to your test result, and that costs 1 sanity. Okay. That is it for Charlie's encounter. And then we've got Norman. So we know we've got both clues now. So we're going to go to Innsmouth Village, but we know this is not going to be a clue. And we're still at the historic order of Dagon. Murals along the wall depict some strange iconic figures in underwater vistas. You try to interpret these images. Test law. Norman is law 3. Let's do that. Law 3. We need 1 success. No, he does not pass. Norman has continued to not roll very well. Oh, sorry, that should have been down here. I'm looking at the wrong one. I was like, I've just done that. If you pass, you see the depiction. You could gain a curio. Okay, well, we can't do that. So that goes to the bottom. The deck. And that is pretty much it for the encounter phase. Pretty successful. We've got two clues, which is good for Cursed Gold. We then go on to the fun part, which is the Mythos phase, and this lovely bag. Each character is going to draw 2. So again, we'll start off with Carson. His first one is going to be Spread Terror. Bear with me. So spreading terror is quite simple. You take a terror, put it into Innsmouth Village, and then we take one of these cards here. And then we're going to put it on top of the Innsmouth Village deck, which is off to one side. So we have to encounter that first before we do anything else. And that's pretty much it. We'll then go on to that's Monster. Simple one. Oh, let me just triple check. Yep, Spawn Monster. I know it was, but Haven't played this far, so I want to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Spawn monster, we take the backmost monster out of this deck. Awake Titan. Delightful. Spawn at unstable space. And the historic order of Dagon is the unstable space. Oh my god. So that's going to go there like that. So that's the 2 for Carson. We're going to do 2 for Charlie. We get spawn a clue. That's quite nice. So the clue is going to go in north side. Clue there. Top 2 cards. This one. There. What did I just do? That's there. That can go there. Another one. Spawn a monster. Spawn at unstable space. Hybrid thug. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And then 1 for Norman. Reckoning. Okay. Reckoning. Now we look at the cards to see what reckonings we got. So it says here, we're okay. Oh no, spread terror in each neighborhood with a deep one monster. So terror is going to go here. Another card goes on the top of Innsmouth. Devil's Reef is not considered to be part of this, I don't believe. And here's a human cultist. So we're all good. That's that reckoning. We've got some other reckonings going on. We've got the Dark Pact for Charlie. It says reckoning, while roll 1 die, on a roll of 1, your debt has become due. 4. He's good. And I think that is it for reckonings. And last card for Charlie. Norman. A headline. We go to the headline deck. We'll shuffle. Oh, we'll take that one then. This headline reads, something rotten in Arkham. Mayor says sewers are closed for repairs. Smell from beneath the streets described as unearthly and noisome. Putrid beyond the knowledge of man. Manhole covers ajar. Headline rumour. Add this card to the codex and discard all other rumour headlines. No other rumour headlines. Reckoning. Spawn 1 monster. Any investigator may suffer 1 damage and 1 horror to cancel this effect. So that's going to go there. And that is it for a full turn. And I think we've probably done nearly an hour of setting up and describing stuff and getting everything sorted. One thing I will just check is monsters. Bear with me. Yeah, so one thing I should have done when these spawned is actually engage them with investigators. So I'll do the Wake Totem with Norman and the Hybrid Thug with Charlie. Let's put those there so we remember we've got those engaged. Yeah, that should have happened. They should have come in and then they engaged because they spawned in the space that these have been in. Right, glad we caught that. We will call it there. Like I say, I'm trying to keep these down to about an hour or so people can sort of watch them without spending hours upon hours of their time. And next episode, obviously, we'll carry on. We'll proper get deep into the Tyrants of Ruin. But I think we've started off okay. We've got 2 clues. I mean, we're swimming in monsters at the moment. And Carson, unfortunately, has been delayed, which means he's only going to get 1 action next turn. But moving forward, he does have a shotgun, which is going to be able to help an awful lot. But anyway, that's it. We'll call it there, and I'll see you on episode 2 of Tyrants of Ruin. If you're liking what I'm doing, I really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. Feel free to comment on the videos as well. I love getting the comments. Seems like we're moving forward in the right direction. Really helpful comments in regards to sort of how things are set up, the audio, all that type of stuff. Really helpful. Helps me a lot. So yeah, we'll get there in the end, and we will see if we can take on these beasties. But that's it for me. Enough of me waffling. I'll see you later. Ta-ra for now.